It's Saturday, July 25th, about 11 o'clock ish. And as you can see here, I'm doing a tub leak test. I just finished turning it off. It's still testing the overflow, although it's about done. And lo and behold, not a single leak. Although, you know, because I don't have a faucet on there, it's kind of spewing everywhere. So that's what all the water around here is, but it's not from a leak. It's just from me not finding a spout and going, I don't care, because I know what's going on. Okay, whatever. Anyhow, I went down under the floor and verified that neither the overflow or the main drain has any leaks. So that's really cool. I can also tell you that as of this morning, there are no leaks anywhere in this house. I repaired my little issue over here. That's good to go. And out here, I've got myself a system that I rigged up down here, which will I'll shut off the house water, and then I'll verify that I don't have any pressure loss, which will help me further corroborate my story that there are no leaks. And I'll leave it that way for quite some time. And that's it. I've got all of the caps are now secured. As soon as I drain the toilet, I'm going to let it sit there for a while. But as soon as I drain the toilet, the next and final step is to use this thing. And I'll use this to plug that drain down there, and so that nothing can drain. And then, this is going to be really fun, I've run, where'd it go? That hose goes up to the roof, and it connects into that vent pipe right there that I installed. I'm going to start filling that bad boy with water. That's going to be exciting. We'll see what happens. All right, I'll keep you posted. Bye. Well, I'm back because I thought this was kind of funny. It says real clearly here, death, bodily injury, and/or property damage could result. It says here, do not enter the danger zone when the plug is in use, or you'll die. Yeah, whatever. Then it says something about yada yada. I can't read that many instructions. Alright, here's the pneumatic plug safety and instruction manual. I guess I better read this, huh? Because otherwise I might die. Alright. By the way, this isn't a hand grenade. To blow this rat bastard up with air until it plugs the hole. Kind of hard to figure out how I might die, but hey, I'll read the safety instructions. I swear. Alright, talk to you later. Bye. Alright, several things have happened. I turned the water on up in the on the roof. I don't have the system plugged because I've got to figure out how to drain the water safely, and I got to call into a plumber. I kind of suspect he's going to go, don't worry about it, you don't have enough head pressure to pose a safety problem, but I'm going to find out. Anyhow, so what I've done at the moment is I'm still conducting the bathtub test. Got it still full of water, monitoring for leaks, still no leaks. I just stopped the free water test up on the roof. Like I said, looking good. And then I charged I turned on the valve from the street back on to get the water pipes pressurized. And so what you see here is it's pressurized currently at 50 psi. And the reason it's 50 psi right now is because I turned it on at the street, fully pressurized the system, which is much greater than 50, and then turned it back off, and then went around the other side of the house and relieved some of the pressure using the backyard hose bib until I got the needle into a useful range. And so now I'm going to just monitor this gauge. I do expect it to drop because right back here somewhere I've got a tiny leak back here, and so that's going to cause that to drop over time. That said, if it drops slowly based on just a subjective observation of how much leakage I got there, that may tell me something. So I'll monitor. We'll see. Bye. Good afternoon. It's Monday, July 27th. Spent today installing that beam and fixing these ceiling joists to it, and then removed a temporary hold-up wall that I had installed to hold those things up while I put the beam up. Well, it's all in, as you can see, and that's the rough end dimension for the slider that will go into it. As you can see, it's quite large and will let a tremendous amount of light into this space, so it should be pretty dramatic. From that point over to that point is the living room. This is going to be a dining room and a desk area, etc. I also did more testing yesterday of the waste and vent system, mostly focused over here. Didn't have very good luck. Couldn't get it to seal up very well, but nonetheless, what I did test had no leaks in the waste and vent system, so that was good. But I won't know for sure until I get some new parts. Those were the test balls that I had purchased. You stick them in the hole, use a bicycle pump, pump it up. It expands and seals the waste pipe to hold the water back. With a lot of instructions that talk about danger and life-threatening, etc. So I decided to call the plumber because it wasn't clear to me how much I should pump it up, etc. And he told me, well, for one thing, I shouldn't be using those. I should be using a different style that lets you slowly release the water so you don't have to spew like I did. I made a muddy mess down over there the first time I tried it. Anyway, so I'm going to try and return those. We'll see if they take them back and get a different type of plug that he recommended. So I'm going to do that tomorrow on my way back here. Tomorrow I'm going to be installing a floor structure along there so that when they deliver the slider they can install it to the right level. There's going to be a floor that goes from there over to there and fills this whole area. But since I don't have the floor in, I'm just going to install the structure for the floor that the slider will sit on, and then I'll later install the formal floor. Well, that's it for Monday, July 27th. Oh, hats off to Katie and Kale. They did a great job removing the deck that was here and other things. They took a lot of nails out and all that sort of thing, so appreciated. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Just a quick update. Yesterday I also installed some structure around in here, filled in some of the master bathroom floor that had not been filled in. That box protects the piping to the water heater and the outside spigot, and the other stuff around it is just for sheetrock. Put in a stud here because the one next to it was severely compromised in previous remodels, and put in a plug there, as you can see, just to strengthen the 2x4 that was there. It's probably not needed, but it did it anyway. And that's it. It's Tuesday, and you're looking at the main plumbing system here, and you probably see H2O where you shouldn't. Well, guess what? It's leaking. So's that one over there, just a bit. And if that weren't bad enough, that's the tub over there. Now that one isn't my fault, I don't think. I'm really not sure what to make of that, but what's going on there is that the back pressure on the coupling between this pipe and the tub drain assembly, the silver stuff you see when you're in the bathtub, is basically rubber, foamy kind of stuff. It's pretty standard. And then on the top side of the tub, I use the standard plumber's putty, and then you use a special tool to tighten the whole assembly to the tub. Well, with this much back pressure, it's driving up through there, and it's coming out right there at that intersection. And other than re-puttying and trying to go even tighter, it's not a pipe leak. It's not a waste pipe leak. Anyhow, I've got to think about that one. This one right here is quite unfortunate, but I do believe that the leak is only this joint right there. That joint right there. Well, son of a bitch. Oh my Lord. Boy, this is a tough test. I mean, there's a shit ton of pressure. And the only thing this thing's really carrying once this test is done is air. As long as you don't have sewer gases escaping, you got no issue. Alright, well, wish I knew what I did wrong so I don't do it again. I remember that joint quite clearly, and I took a lot of care to get that thing glued in well, so I have no idea why it's failing. Same with this thing. What the hell? Alright, well, I'll go see if there's anything else leaking. Check in with you later. Just a quick update. I was thinking about this. That gray thing there and up there are plugs that come with the kit so that you can plug up the drain so you can do the tests that I'm doing. But those things are cheap plastic, and when I was installing them, I really wasn't all that comfortable with how well manufactured they were. It didn't seem like they would take a lot of abuse. And with the sheer amount of back pressure that's in these pipes, all those pipes, that's quite a bit of weight. And that's why I think when I installed that, that's the only thing that's holding the bottom side seal to the tub, and it wasn't really all that strong. So I'm comfortable that the reason I have a leak under there is because of that thing. What I'm not comfortable with, and I've been thinking about this a lot too, too bad I don't have my flashlight. Probably won't be able to see this. Maybe if I get a little closer. That thing right there is just a rubber cap that has clamped around the rubber cap onto the pipe. And if that thing lets go, there will be a geyser of water that shoots up all the way up into the roof. It would go, that's a lot of pressure. It would probably hit the roof. And all that water, that geyser water, would splash over into the area that's over there and douse all this electrical stuff, some of which is still hot. And that wouldn't be good. Potentially devastating. See that? That's a hot wire. So my point is that I think I have a potentially dangerous situation with this thing. I can't afford to have that thing let loose. Now the difference between that one and say this one is that this is clamped on to a threaded piece that's underneath this. Provides a lot of resistance to the rubber with the clamp on. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. Although when you press on this, you can feel just how much pressure there is. But still, I don't think that's going to let go. But that one is just attached, clamped to the smooth pipe. If that were to let go, God only knows what's going to happen. So, my current thinking is I'm going to drain the system. I'm going to let everything under this floor dry out and for a day or two. And then I'm going to get busy with repairs. And meanwhile, I'm going to talk with the plumbing experts about this and see if there's a different approach than using those cheap plastic parts. It's hard for me to guess how far up the water column got. I'm pretty sure it got most of the way, and even though I have leaks, it appears to me that they're really not, it's really not bad. I mean, if I was a plumber, it would be terrible because they probably never have leaks. And like I said before, I don't know what I did wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Well, it kind of matters. But one of the first things I'm going to have to do is chop this pipe there, chop it here or thereabouts, and I got to figure out how to insert a piece, because you cannot move this pipe up and you cannot move this pipe down, so it's fixed. So how do you insert a piece and make it watertight? Well, they have a rubber piece that there's a way in which you can get it in there. So it's called a Fernco. I've probably mentioned that before. And the other one that I showed you earlier is from the master shower. I can't even imagine why that thing's leaking, but it is. So that one's a little scary because I have to cut it near the main trunk line, and if I screw it up, potentially I have to take out a big chunk of trunk line, which would really set me back. But hey, I'm going to be careful, so we'll see. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm going to drain the lines. I'm going to let things dry out, and while it's drying out, I'm going to go back to work finishing up some framing over here, and maybe think about getting started on framing out the new floor which will be at that level, not that level. All right, I'll catch you later. Bye. Well, hang on a second. Maybe I'll take you along with me as I start relieving the pressure in the system. In case it gets exciting, we'll get it all on tape. All right, getting down in the hole. I got my handy dandy pressure relieving device. And, oh Lord, I think I got quite a bit of water down here. Well, not too bad. Alright, that's the big boy right there. That's the first one I'm going to relieve. The one that says danger. You know that one? Yeah. Alright. Ow. Son of a... Alright, let's see what happens. I think I want to keep my hand away from here, just in case. Oh, I lost my pressure relieving device. For Pete's sake. Oh, there it is. Oh, for Pete's sake. Alright. And now the light goes off. Alright, let's see how to do this with maximum safety in mind. Alright, here we go. Shit, I can't see very well. Holy crap. See it getting some leaks right in there. That's the pressure. Okay, let's let some more air out. Come on. Boy, you can hear it screaming under the ball. Heading this direction. Alright, let's give it a little more. What in the world? What was that? Well, there's no more air coming out of the ball. I hear what sounds like water rushing, which is a good thing. I guess I'll just leave that for a while. No point in rushing to take that test connector out. Alright, let's try the next system. Alright, here we go. I hate the fact that I can't see without glasses. Face closer, which I don't want to do, or else, well, there it goes. Oh boy, watch that thing vibrate. Ooh, doggers. Alright. Oh, yeah, that's right, that's the one that says danger. Yeah. Alright, I think that's adequate. I don't know how long it takes to sneak under the balls. I can still hear the main line draining. I really can't hear this one, but it feels heavy. I really don't want to do anything else until I think it's empty. But there's no more air coming out of this thing, and I don't know if that's me. I don't know. I can't really tell if it's draining. Sure as hell heavy. I could try to start backing it off. Maybe I ought to find out. Okay, that one's stopped making noise. This one's not making a lick of noise, and it's super heavy. So I'll end it here and think about it, but I think I'm going to rotate this a little bit to bring the ball off of contact with the pipe so that the water will get underneath the ball. All right, talk to you later. Bye. It's Wednesday. I've begun the process of installing the new floor level that'll meet up with this level. The whole thing, this area and that area, will be covered with that 3/4 inch subfloor material. It'll go all the way along there, skip the step. That's a whole different process there. And God willing, tomorrow I will have buttoned this down and sheathed it. To get it buttoned down, this concrete floor is anything but smooth and regular. So I've got a process in mind in which I'm going to level these, I'll call them stringers, and then screw them into the floor. Believe it or not, I can get about 1/4 inch of screw into it. So that should be pretty good. But even so, once the sheathing's on, they're not going anywhere anyway. But anyway, I'm going to do the best I can to level it. Over here, where this brick pad is, I'm going to cut down 2x4. It'll be a specialty cut that'll sit right on top of it and attach to the door frame there. Come this way, and then I'll attach it to this stringer right here. Should be all right. Bottom line is, I think this process is pretty good, and I think it'll be a real sturdy floor. So that's that. Hopefully you'll see a finished subfloor tomorrow. Bye. It's Friday, July 31st, and I've got the raised floor completed and the subfloor sheathing on top of it. It's glued down with polyurethane. It's good for subfloor and screwed everywhere. And as you can see right over here, did a pretty good job of meeting the old subfloor, which we had planned all along, and covering that with 3/4 inch, which you can see there has started. And that'll meet up really nice with the area behind the plastic. And then the whole thing gets covered with flooring. So that took quite a bit because, believe it or not, this wood looking stuff, which was the original flooring, was glued on to a slab foundation, and it was very irregular. So getting the structure, the floor joists under this thing to be good and tight and solid to the ground required a substantial amount of propping up, shimming, gluing, screwing, you name it, all kinds of stuff. Also, I got that beam in. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. If I did, maybe I'll delete this chunk. But now the raw opening for the big sliding door is well framed in and sheathed on both sides. And then coming forward, there's a deck that normally goes down here. But looking back, I can't even actually see this, but anyway, I've got exterior sheathing around it, and we're almost ready to, well, we're not quite ready, but we've got quite a bit of work to do on the exterior to get it buttoned up. There was a lot of water damage. A good example of that is right there. It's very secure. All right, anyway, we're gonna fix all that, and meanwhile, tomorrow I'll use up the last sheet of 3/4 inch that I got. I'll install it over there, and then because I'm not in the mood to go buy a bunch of really heavy 3/4 inch and hump it in here tomorrow, probably not, I'm going to turn my attention to this area. This whole wall right here comes out and actually moves to about right here. So there'll be a bump out, and that would be where their bed goes. And then the wall continues on right here with a door right in here. So door, bump out, come along here, come back in right here, and then this area right in here is going to be a little office space. So in order to move that wall, I'm going to have to, I'm really good at it now, prop up all this with a temporary wall, tear out all this stuff, and then build, put in a beam that stretches from right over in here to somewhere in here. It's on the drawing, so I'll figure it out. But in any case, all that will be supported by a beam. And then, after it's supported by a beam, I can move the wall. Now, what's interesting is that that part of the head of their bed will be at this ceiling level, whereas on this side, it'll be at that ceiling level. So that'd be kind of cool, really. But anyway, you'll see what I mean after I do it. All right, check in later. Bye. Good afternoon. It's Sunday, August 2nd. Since the last time I updated, I've laid more subfloor. I'm very happy with it. The floor relative smoothness, or maybe you could call it vertical variation, call it what you will, but it's laying real nice and flat, very regular. Real happy with that. I stopped, even though I've got more 3/4 inch plywood, but I've been trying to figure out if I want to button up that hole or not. I'm kind of leaning towards buttoning it up, because the only thing the inspector is going to need to see is this stuff, and you can see all that you need to see right there, with the exception of where it turns under the floor, and with the exception of where the drain turns. But I think you can see that adequately from this hole. So I think I'm going to straighten this floor out, and I think that's maybe what I'm going to do next, because it just feels great to have a nice new space, if you will. Okay, the other thing I did was, you may notice that there's new structure over here. Well, that's what I've been doing. All of that stuff over there is another wall, another load-bearing wall that I blew out yesterday. And I built a hold-up wall. It's gone now, but I built a hold-up wall to hold up this structure so that here in the master bedroom, I could remove all of the structure under this beam. So I installed yet another beam and then built all of this area in here, which is where the bed will go. The bed sits in this area and extends out here. And even though this is a fairly small room, that was a great idea because effectively it gives them a whole lot more space. But the good news is all the major framing is now complete. Well, it's not complete. I've got to finish the doorway here. I got to put its equivalent on the other side, and probably ought to bolt down some of these plates in the concrete because there really isn't any. They're just sitting there by pressure. So I'll probably drill in a bolt or two. And then that's pretty much it for framing. When you move on to sheetrocking, you always find new areas where you got to stick wood in order to get sheetrock support. But in any case, all the really hard stuff is done. All right, that's it. Get you on the next update. Bye-bye.